Well, we are joined by Jason Hill again. Thanks for joining us, Jason.
Hi, Steve. Hi, everybody.
Now we can get like the answers from the teacher basically after we've done the our perusal. Okay, so let's just get it right into it. You guys released the Aaron 2 video, and there's a couple of things that I noticed
Okay.
in the new video that were different than the Aaron 1 video. And I guess we need you to tell us which one which one is the production intent thing. Okay,
Sure.
so let's
Happy to be here and happy to, clarify anything and answer some of the questions.
all right. So anyway, beautiful shot of Aptera here. And I think, we found out that that the solar panels are now glass. And so that makes it way shinier, which I like.
They are those exterior panels with the outer glass coating. It's really a level up in quality and the durability on,
Yeah.
on all sides. Now the interior panel in the IP won't be as shiny. That
Okay.
has a kind of satin or matte finish in order to reduce the glare, but still perform to the parameters that we deem acceptable for solar energy generation.
Right. I think that was the thing that a lot of people were concerned about, like glare from the interior solar panels.
Sure, and rightly so. But we've been aware of that and testing it and working through the different methods to laminate a panel to reduce that to its minimum.
Okay. Um, okay. So the first thing that I noticed that was a little different was it looks like there's like a slight little fin here on the wheel covers right
Yes,
in here. It's a little bit hard to tell from this angle, but it's raised up here. And I don't,
correct.
I didn't go back to Aaron 1 and see if that was there, but it's definitely here. So um is that for aerodynamic reasons? Some people have said, oh, that's just so that the driver can see that the blinkers are on better. But
It is
I
first
think
and
it's for aerodynamic reasons.
okay.
What is it for both? Is it that, or is it just a design feature because it looks cool?
No, it's not that. It's not that. It first and foremost is to serve a function, right? Just like everything that we aim to do with the design and engineering of this vehicle is what is the function that needs to be achieved. And they are a kind of raised ridge, and it does serve a primary purpose, which is to house a reflector or reflex surface in order for us to pass a certain regulation.
Oh, okay. So these are reflectors.
Correct. So they're outward facing. They're called side amber reflectors or forward side amber reflectors.
Okay.
And they're positioned there as a matter of like, we have to meet the law. There's a certain amount of reflectivity you have to have to the side, and there's a very specific test that we have to pass.
Hmm.
Could we do that in a variety of other ways? Yes, we could. But this one, as you know, with all of our solutions, it turns out once you try it here, you try it there, you see how you can kind of get around the law or work within the law. This allows us the best opportunity to put the reflector in the right place to pass the law and give us a kind of flexibility for upgrades in the future.
Okay. Can you tell us what these upgrades in the future might be?
If we wanted to change that lamp to a full lit strip, or we
Okay.
wanted to increase, the visible part of it, then we would do so in that manner.
Okay. All right. Let
But
me
that
see.
was a good catch. We did not talk about that in Aaron 1, but it was in the video. The same data was in there.
Okay, so this thing will not be actively lit up, this portion right here.
No,
Okay.
correct. You are correct. That is a side reflex only.
All right. And then there was this like it looks like there is some kind of molding or something over the steering rod here.
Mhm.
Guess for aerodynamic reasons. Is that Do you know if that piece is like metal, like it's built that way, or is it like a little plastic piece that snaps over the metal steering rod?
I don't know about this particular one. This was an iteration, and keep in mind that we're going to refine and will refine all of those suspension components,
Mhm.
because that whole area there is where we can gain a lot more efficiency. The body is set. The wheel housings, the fairings, and then the wheel pants, rear wheel skirt, that's all set. But where we can really kind of tweak and adjust in small increments that make a big impact is those fairings. And that is an iteration, our latest iteration, where the steering arm does have that fairing on it.
Okay. And is it a separate piece, or is the steering rod just going to be made in that shape?
I believe this one is a separate piece.
Okay. And is that what's going to go into the production intent?
It should be, but
Okay.
again, keep in mind, we've done several iterations on like control arms that are molded into without an aero cover. Some
Mhm.
have an aero cover, and we're now to the point where we've made the decision, like this will be the production version of the suspension and the covers. And we're still refining some of the areas on the inner wheel pant surface in order to
Like this side.
iterate. Yeah, that side exactly. In order to iterate around, if we put a little lip there or a little bump, does that help or hurt aerodynamically? But back to the reflex question about the wheel pants, it is not an aerodynamic feature, although it doesn't help or hurt the aerodynamic performance
I
there.
see.
So it allows us to meet the reflex, and it wasn't driven by aesthetics. It's more, rather than create a separate part, we were able to incorporate it within that lit surface.
Okay. This is something that someone on the Discord channel noticed, and I didn't notice. But there's a little round thing right here,
Yes,
and it looks like it's like an ultrasonic sensor or something.
correct. And there's one on the other side, and I went through this explanation today with a visitor we had to on site. The ultrasonics have been moved to the nose cone, and they're placed in such a way that allows us to get a continual good fidelity of reading. When we had them on the wheel pan, it seemed like a good idea, and we iterated on that, and we tried it out. And it turns out that when you turn the wheel pans, a lot of times you have to compensate for what might be a false reading because it might detect the nose as being in front of you.
Right.
So we looked at the problem and kind of answered the question by turning it inside out and said, if this is a problem, how do we solve it? So we went through all the issues of should they be lower? Should they be aimed outward? And then we realized, like, if we put them in the nose, and by the way, they've been there a long time. So, but we can talk about it. If we put them in the nose and they're oriented in a way that the signal is directed, that allows for a continually, good fidelity of reading.
Now, will that ultrasonic sensor help place the wheel pants? Will it, I don't know how to say this right. Like, will it tell us that the wheel pants are getting close to the curb or something like that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Because that is, again, a major concern of people, and actually one of my major concerns, because, when I'm parallel parking a regular car, I've hit the tire on the curb from time to time. That has definitely happened. And when you hit the tire of a regular car on the curb, it's not that big of a deal. You might scuff up your hubcaps a little bit. You might.
Right.
But if you hit this on the curb, that's definitely gonna cause some damage to the wheel cover.
Right.
So
well,
how do we avoid that?
I want you to think about how ultrasonic sensors were normally positioned. They're normally positioned either in what we call in vehicle line, straight ahead, or perpendicular. This is right in between. It's actually aimed outward at a degree between the two. So it gives you the opportunity, gives the sensor the opportunity to say, hey, you're too close to something in front of you, but you're also too close to something to the side.
Right. But then the wheel cover kind of angulates as you turn the yoke. It might be that the rear of the wheel pants is very close to the curb. And I don't know, like the ultrasonic sensor does not seem like it's positioned in a way that it could give you information about the rear part of the wheel covers.
It wouldn't, but I think you're going to experience like the parallel parking issue is going to be very similar to how you would sense your normally sensory when you're parking any type of vehicle.
Yeah, but I'm probably a below average driver, but when I'm parallel parking a regular vehicle, I've definitely hit the curb with the wheels.
It's a completely normal thing.
But I definitely don't want to hit the wheel cover on the curb.
Remember that the wheel covers are designed with the front and rear to withstand a certain amount of force, and that material is what we would call ablative. So it can withstand a certain amount let's say scuffing, and then
Uh-huh.
you'll be able to replace it.
But there's no direct like camera that looks down on that.
Not yet,
Okay.
but excellent observation.
Okay. I mean, honestly, what I'm probably gonna have to do is have like a friend hop out of the car when I park this thing, because I'm just a little paranoid about it.
You
But
need to
maybe it won't be that big of a
give
deal when I
yourself more
actually drive
credit.
it.
There's lots of edge cases where
Uh,
certain things are going to happen, but the overwhelming majority, give yourself and the rest of us and everybody more credit. It's going to function just fine.
okay.